Hi everyone, it's the 4Gun Guy, and today I'm really excited to do a review of Arken's new EP-5 Gen 2 with the TOR reticle. Now, I've never done an Arken scope review before, and there's a reason for that. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But let's do this today. Let's first get the clear the air about Arken and DNT. So I want to talk about that first. Then I want to go over some of the functional features of this scope. Kind of an unboxing, but we'll start from back to front, see what's good about this scope, and then we'll go out to the range. I'm going to mount this on a 6BRA, do some kind of long range shooting with it, get some recoil on it. Then I'm going to put it on a CZ457 rimfire rifle, and we'll see how this might be good for you if you're a rimfire shooter in PRS. Then we'll have some final thoughts. So if you're ready to go, let's get to it. Well, look, right out of the gate, I want to read you a quote from Arken, because I reached out to them and I said, look, I want to know what is going on with DNT and Arken, and let's just get everything straight there. So Ronnie from Arken emailed me back. This is exactly what he said. He said, moving forward, DNT's the one will be discontinued, and this product, the EP-5 Gen 2, and its architecture will now exclusively live under the Arken Optics brand as the EP-5 7-35 TOR. He said, as you noted, DNT is focusing strictly on night vision and thermal optics, while Arken continues to spearhead traditional optics. Now, he also said a big reason for this scope is that Arken really does want to get more into PRS. And I think this is a great step for them to do that. So let's get to the scope now, do a little bit of an unboxing, and then go through the functionality back to front. All right, let me start by saying right off the bat, everything on this scope is very smooth and or tactile as it should be. So when I start to look at the ocular and the focus, this is very smooth, very not super stiff, but not super loose. It doesn't need to be locking, it's not, but I don't need it to be locking because it is that stiff that it will stay where you place it. As far as the magnification goes, same thing, right? It's very smooth, and I love these turrets. So I'm going to do that stupid little thing, right, where I get down here. You hear that? I mean, these things are very tactile, and I like that in a turret. They're not mushy like some scopes that I've reviewed that have been 3 and 4 times this price have been really mushy. These are not. Parallax, easy to manage. It is numbered, which is great, but in other videos I've said I don't care if it's numbered or not, because it's generally off a little bit for my eyes. So numbered or not, but these are numbered. I really like that. The illumination is daylight bright, but I like the fact that probably 90% of the reticle is illuminated. And again, the windage, same thing, very tactile, very tactile. Let's focus on this elevation turret because it does have a 0 stop. It is not a locking turret, which if you're new to PRS, you'll find that locking turrets are not the thing anymore for PRS. They were the thing a couple years ago, but then people realized that sometimes those turrets drop down, they lock, and I don't need them to lock when I have multiple targets out there in a single stage. But this is not locking. I love it. Re-zeroing. What I found with this was that when I got down behind it, all you're going to do is loosen this stop, and then the turret goes front and back. It goes forwards and backwards. So I can reduce elevation as much as I need, and I can raise the elevation as much as I need to re-zero the scope. When I'm done, I loosen the 3 screws, I take the turret off, I reset it back to 0, and I reset the 0 stop, and I'm done. It might sound like a lot of work, but I promise you I can reset this thing in less than 2 minutes. I've seen some reviews of the scope, and they all talk about the little nub down here at the bottom of the erector housing. And look, if you're running a very low scope and you're running a single mount, right, then yeah, that could get in the way. I run high rings and I run a high spur mount, and I actually had this in my higher spur mount. I didn't have a problem with it. So I'm okay with that functionality if they need to have that thing. I've had this on some other scopes. It never really bothered me before either. So let's talk now about the specifications of the scope. Well, the first thing I want to talk about is the glass in the scope. Now, this is Japanese XED glass, which they say is extremely low dispersion fluoride glass. A lot of scopes have XED glass now. It is Japanese glass. You're probably gonna find that in a lot of other scopes, but I think it's a good upgrade. This is actually upgraded glass for the Arken EP-5 for this version. So I think they did a great job doing that. I already talked about the 0 stop that it has, and now let's talk about some of the specific dimensions here. And I've got my kind of cheat sheet. I'll put this up here next to me. So again, magnification 7:35. Eye relief 3.5 inches. Now I found out at the range that this was very easy to get behind. And I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. In some of my other videos, you've seen me do this. This is why I run the higher rings now and the higher mounts. It's because when I get behind the rifle, I don't want to do this. I want to be more like this. So when my scope is higher, it's easier for me to just come into the cheek rest and my eye is already lined up. And it's a lot easier for me anyway to build that eye relief and to set the rifle up properly. So that's just me. It is first focal plane. We're going to talk about the reticle in a minute. It does have a 0 reset. Elevation, it has 32 milliradians of elevation, which is really good, I think. It's got 16 on the windage, and the adjustments are 10 mils per rotation, which I really like. And I'm going to tell you why I like that. Because with 10 mils of rotation, it gives you just enough separation in the markings on the turret, so you're not sitting there squinting at them. Now, I'm going to eventually get the IDTS tape to put on this, so that really won't matter to me. But some of these scopes that have like 12 mils of rotation, those lines are so close together it's hard to discern. So I like a scope with 10 mils of rotation. That's just me. Parallax, 25 yards to infinity. So yes, this is a good candidate for rimfire. Now, let's talk about some other things here. One is the reticle, so I really want to talk about that next. If you've watched any of my other scope videos, you know that I am a nut when it comes to reticles, right? I will not even review scopes if they don't have a PRS style or PRS useful reticle in them. And this goes back to what I said in the very beginning of this video. This is why I have never looked at Arken scopes. They never offered them to me until now, but I never even thought to purchase one to try it out. And it's because their reticles were always just half mil subtensions, and that's all they were. There wasn't any finer subtension in their scopes. And so for PRS, that does us no good, right? We need those subtensions. Now with the TOR reticle, this is the reticle that comes from the DNT, the 1 scope. So they brought that reticle into this, which I think is fantastic. I love a couple things about this reticle, so let's go through them. Number one, I like the fact that they didn't, on the horizontal and vertical axis, they did not clutter them with numbering, right? It starts at 2, so it goes 2, 4, 6, 8, which is very clear. The major subtensions, the 1, the 3, the 5, they're all easily discernible there within the reticle. I'm looking at it down here. Now, the one thing, if you watch my videos, you'll know that I am a stickler for half mil markings, which this does not have. I'm okay with what they did here because the vertical markings graduate larger as it goes up to that 1. But if you look over there on the right of the 1 to look at the between the 1 and the 2 mils, I wish that actually was inside the 1. Other than that, I love the center dot. It's small enough that it doesn't intrude on the target when you're zoomed in, and we'll see this when we get to the range. And I also like the fact that when the reticle is illuminated, it's illuminated in a very purposeful way. So all of the horizontal is illuminated, all of the vertical is illuminated, but all of the Christmas tree is not. And I actually like that because some of these reticles, when they get illuminated and you're in low light conditions, it can literally just drown out everything in the scope. This does not do that. So I think Arken, you did a good job on the reticle. Let's get out to the range and let's see this thing in action. Well, we're out at Walker County Precision, where we shoot a lot of our matches. And I've got the Arken mounted on a 6BRA. And I wanted to mount it on a heavier gun just to see how it handled like recoil and whatnot. Let's start at 500 yards, and I will start the trigger cam. And let's see, 500 yards is right there. I don't know if you're seeing this, but Mirage is great. I am on about 16, 17 power right here. So let's look at this 17. Let's go up to about 20, which is what we'd shoot in a match. If I zoom in even more, I'm trying to see if this trigger cam is going to pick this all up. This is about 23, probably 25. Glass is very clear. I'm going to adjust the parallax just a little bit so I can see the targets. I can see everything on them, and move this over just a pinch here. There we are. So let's see here. Let's see if we can hit something down there, shall we? Actually, I'm just going to put one in that large plate. Let's see where our dope is. Okay, a little high there, about 2/10 high. That's okay for what we're doing today. I've got this on an Omega 300 suppressor with a Recoil X brake on it. Let's do another shot here. See what we can get here. That was our cold shot. Look at that, right on top of it. That's a pretty good group of 600 yards so far, right? Let's shoot at a key here. Now, before we break the shot, let's pause here and look at the Mirage, right? I can see the Mirage very clearly through the scope, coming behind the scope. So if I'm just up here and I come down on the scope, how easy is it to get behind? Very easy to get behind, actually. Impact. Now, if I blur, now we can see the Mirage. It actually looks like it's doing this, doesn't it? So that tells me that the wind is probably coming right at us, and I can feel it's coming right at us. I haven't done any wind dope or not. But generally when you do that and you see it kind of boiling, that means it's not really coming out of any direction. So let's go to 3.5 here, and let's go out a little bit further to this plate, and let's see what this looks like. This is 600 yards. So this scope, 600 yards, I'm going to aim right here. There you go. Again, just above the water line. Okay, I'm going to swing around at a 700-yard target. And let's see what we do here. So here is 700 yards. Again, I'm adjusting parallax, and you can clearly read the 700 on that indicator. Now the wind just picked up, so I probably Won't hit this thing, but let's just see here. Oh, there we go, we hit it. Impact at 700 yards. So look, I'm impressed with number one, how fast I can get behind this scope. Number two, at 700 yards, that's a pretty darn clear image. But anyway, I just wanted to show you this mounted on a larger caliber rifle. I'll tell you what, I've got a 22 here I've been wanting to try out. Let me put this thing on that, and then we'll see what it might look like for rimfire matches. Whew. Now I've got this mounted on a CZ457. We're going to shoot 4 different distances. So let me swing around here, and we will shoot. The first target is 64 yards. And let me start the trigger cam. I'm going to adjust the parallax. Now, I want you to see how clear that image is. There's an impact. So I just want you to see, guys, this is at 16. This is at about 17, 18 power, which is for rimfire about what I would be shooting. So let's go to a 94-yard target. Probably going to run out of ammo here in a second and have to reload the magazine, but let's shoot this teardrop here. Now, so we went from 50 to 90, or 64 to 94. I'm just bringing the parallax in a little bit. Just that. Is that the right target I'm shooting on? I think so. I think there's a little wind that kicked up. And you know what I didn't do? What didn't Tony do? That's right, boys and girls. We didn't adjust our dope. So let's adjust the dope. Hey, look at that. Isn't that amazing what happens when you just adjust things? Let's go to 4.6. I love these turrets, and I can't tell you how much I really like these turrets. Adjusting parallax just a pinch. Impact. And I think that, well, one more. So let's go to the 184 at 6.6. See if we can get that thing. So 184 is down here, I think, right there. That's a pretty good sized target. Impact. But look, I think that's it there, yeah. So I just want you to see, let's zoom in. This is full power, full zoom. Now, I don't know what this is doing in the trigger cam. It looks good to me on my iPad, but that's full zoom. So if I really wanted to see it 184 yards, where my 22 long-range rimfire impacts were, I certainly could. Now, if I zoom out, this is really giving me some good information. So I tell you what, we put this on the Centerfire, the Rimfire. Let's get back and have some final thoughts. I want to thank Arken for sending me the first scope that I've ever reviewed from them. And we all know why, right? It was that reticle was holding me back on either purchasing one, or even if they had asked me to review one, I would have said, that's not a PRS scope. This is a PRS scope. So let's talk about where this belongs. If you're just beginning in PRS, Rimfire, or Centerfire, I think this can work for you very well. The reticle's really, really good. The glass is very good. You didn't see how good the glass was through the trigger cam, but it was very good. Everything on this scope is smooth. All the operations of everything is smooth. And remember, I do love these tactile turrets. I like the fact that when I'm turning this thing, I know exactly how many clicks I've turned. I like the re-zeroing. I don't think there's anything wrong with having to loosen a few set screws to re-zero. That's just me. I think that was fine. And I like the 34 millimeter tube and the 56 millimeter objective. So I think you've got a winner here, Arken. I think you're on the right path if you want to get into PRS for sure. Price-wise, I think this is around $750, but I just saw, I know there's a sale, or it was a sale going on for 20%, which brings this somewhere down in the, what, $600 range, which is very good for a scope like this. So thanks again, Arken. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for hanging in there, everyone. I love the comments, the likes, the subs, and until next time, shoot straight.